August 17th. We are, as always, on a 4-hour Bitcoin chart via mexi.com, and a change for the better is beginning. That's what I've titled today's video, and it's evident where the change is. We've arrived from a weekend that was a classic weekend movement, meaning very low volume, practically no movement, and the end of that weekend, that is Sunday night, was exactly the same as Friday afternoon. It was clearly a pretty boring weekend, with scalping that could practically only be done for 50, 100, 300 points maximum. Sunday night has arrived and we're already seeing activity, that activity we like. Wicks are starting to appear that anticipate the movement both downwards and upwards, which we are seeing now. We're going to analyze in depth not only the scalping or intraday trading that we do in the VIP Telegram group, but we're also going to make these videos dedicated to price forecasting for 7 to 10 days and see a bit about the position we're in for the long term. I'm Michael Vasquez, and after 15 years in professional trading, I could tell you that the only thing that works in any market, not just in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a very, very important element or asset. Everyone knows it, and it works 24/7. It's very, very easy to follow, but in any asset, other stocks, oil, gold, you can use this same methodology, which is what we do. It's simple. We don't use indicators that tell us what has already happened, because in the price, we already have what has happened. We don't need to know that, but rather we want to look for the strategies of the institutions. Institutions are entities, so to speak, with enormous capital that move the chart, the price, at their whim. They always use deception so that retail traders think the price is going to go in one direction, take that liquidity, and then send the price in the other. Simply by using volume, which are the footprints of the smart money, we look for those shifts, those strategies. In short, the deceptions that institutions want to pull on retail traders. And we stop being retail and start thinking like the smart money. Very well. After this introduction, we are now going to study the movement. The first element we must always take into account is the long term, because it influences the week and even scalping. Even though you might think that a movement lasting months doesn't influence scalping, it actually does, because the entries you make in the direction of that long-term movement are more likely to give you good results and prevent you from getting stuck for longer in a counter-trend trade. Very well. Having said that, Wyckoff phase. As I explain in my course, there are 4 phases that can be seen on all charts and all time frames. The larger the time frame, the clearer those Wyckoff phases are. Right now, we are in an accumulation phase, waiting, as I told you, in the long medium term, we're talking about months, for an upward movement. Very well. To make the weekly forecast, you don't need more than knowing that we are in an accumulation phase and it is now trying to look for the lower zone. Although you can already see that the last green candle, if what you're interested in is making money with trading, whether professionally or as a side job, I've designed a course where you'll stop looking at indicators and you'll understand what the market is really doing, what the strong hands are really doing, and you'll be able to make money the way they do. Let's continue with the analysis. A little bit bigger, the last weekly candle starts in green. However, based on the clues we've seen these last few weeks, it seemed like it was looking for the lower zone. Let's go to our headquarters, 4 hours, and we do see that start of a movement looking for the support of the pseudo channel. I'm telling you, the important channel and then the pseudo channel that is forming, which is gaining more substance than the channel itself, because you can see that since July 5th, that is more than a month, we have it, the price in this pseudo channel. That's why it's very important to have it. Even though the reference is the channel we've seen in the long term, the pseudo channel is having more importance during the summer. I'll give you the support levels. Channel support, 60,000. Pseudo channel support, 62,300. Pseudo channel resistance, 65,600. And important resistance, channel resistance, 68,000. This is important because it's the channel or the plane that the Bitcoin price is going to respect, regardless of the strategy you follow. We are going to add, of course, the volume because those are the footprints of the big players. They are telling us things, and we have to follow them and interpret them properly. As you can see, the peaks we always look for are above 1.5. However, this summer we are seeing that those peaks are decreasing in volume. In other words, there is a bit less activity, and we now consider it a volume peak when it's close to 1.2. Even 1.1 can be considered a volume peak. This last one we consider a volume peak. What we're getting at is how do we determine that movement? Simply on the 4-hour chart, for example, we can also apply it to scalping or intraday trading, we'll see later, but we have to look for 3 elements in any time frame. Arrival at a zone that is either the middle of a channel or support resistance. Appearance of, it could be wicks on the bottom, that is, wicks in the area opposite to the movement. It could be 1, 2, or more candles, and then volume entry. 3 elements that give us a very, very high probability of success with the smart money. These setups, which I also explain in my course. Very well. Here we saw these 3 elements that indicated there is an upward movement. However, as we have seen in the big move, in the long-term move, we are expecting it to go down. That's why we understand that even though the move was indeed to the upside, what we saw was a pullback and not a proper move itself. Now, if you look closely, this wick that's reaching near the middle of the 64 channel, which has been very important throughout this whole summer, that wick also appears, and the volume, although significant, is smaller. Normally, when it's in the direction of the trend, less is enough. Less volume, less momentum, meaning the signals don't need to be as clear for the move to appear clearly. On the other hand, when it's a pullback, meaning a move against the main trend, it's necessary for that volume to be significant, for the arrival to be clear, and for at least 1 or 2 wicks to appear. That's why when it's in favor of the trend, it's less, it's less demanding the conditions for that movement to appear. Very well. What we are expecting for this week, this is properly the forecast based on what we've been seeing with every clue the chart has given us, is to try during this week to break the 62,300 zone and start the retest we talked about last week from the lower zone. That is, to go down. Not reaching 60, but yes, dropping below 62,300 and making touches to clear out that liquidity. Also, so that the strong hands can wear out retail sentiment. That is to say, retail doesn't have patience. They want to get in, and as soon as they see one, for example, I was just giving you 3 elements, as soon as they see 2 elements, or what looks like 2 elements even if they aren't clear, they jump in. If we want to enter with those strong hand strategies, we have to be patient. There's no rush because in reality, the Bitcoin chart works even on the weekend. You've seen it. It works 24/7. There are always opportunities. It's like, I don't know if you've ever surfed, there's always another wave. And you have to decide. You say, this is my wave, you catch it, and you go for it. You can't wait for the best one to come along, but you also have to know that during a morning, there are many waves throughout the whole day, and you can catch any of them. Well, that's what we do with the chart. Very well. We have that forecast set for 7 to 10 days to start seeing it here. I also warned you about the possible entry of a volume spike, as we've already said, above 1.1, since it's summer, and a large spread of the green candles breaking the 64 zone. That would be the signal that makes us understand that the movement is going to take longer than what we are initially expecting. If that doesn't appear, we'll simply wait patiently for the Bitcoin price to go to our forecast. But I'm telling you, I upload analysis every day to spot those little clues. Alright, having said that, I also wanted to tell you that on the 15th or 30-minute charts, which is where we make our entries in the VIP Telegram, today I posted one. I usually post 2 entries a day. It's a closed group of about 100 people, and the only way to access it before was open. Anyone could join. Now, it's only for those who sign up for vazquezmikel.com, which is the exchange I always use for all my trades. It's completely free, and make your first deposit. In that case, MEXC will give you a $50 reward, and I will give you 1 free month of VIP Telegram. After that, if you like the experience, it would be 19 euros a month. I'll get in touch with you. We'll talk about it on Telegram, by email. I've left the link in the description. Now I'd like to give you the challenge of August. I'll put it here for you. I did it on Saturday. Yesterday, it didn't. The TP didn't trigger. It triggered late at night, which I already consider Monday because the movement is different. But you saw that it was very stagnant and it was very difficult to just do scalping. There was like a standby over the weekend, but here I have the TP. The challenge, in case you don't know, consists of me starting on the 1st of every month, in this case August 1st, with an MEXC account of $500, and every day I make simple entries with 10 times leverage, taking $15, now $20, later when it's bigger, $30, so you can see that simply by going against the grain, not being in a rush, and waiting for the TP to trigger, you can do simple trading and make significant money. Because last month I started with 500 and ended with 1,092. I raffled off that excess, and I'll do the same in the August challenge. Whatever exceeds that. Right now the account is at 630, meaning 130 in profit. Let's hope we reach, I don't know, 800 or something like that. Whatever exceeds 500, I will raffle off among all of you who meet the condition I mentioned before, MEXC registration and deposit. MEX gives you $50, and you enter the raffle for whatever exceeds that. I'm Michael Vasquez. This is Daily Bitcoin Analysis. I really appreciate you watching this video, and as I always tell you, this is not financial advice. Rather, I am sharing my experience with you after more than 15 years in professional trading. I wanted to warn you that there are no other groups on Telegram, Instagram, or TikTok with my name or Daily Bitcoin Analysis, none other than the private ones. In other words, you could only join by getting in touch with me using the contact information provided in this video. Don't search for Mikel Vasquez or Daily Analysis on Telegram, because whoever comes up is not me. See you tomorrow with more clues.